Fam, I'm Amanveer. Welcome back to my YouTube channel Political Science YT. Today we will be starting with topic 2 of Unit 1, which is part of syllabus of Political Science Honors Semester 5 BA. So the topic name is Emergence of Two Superpowers. So, first of all, we will be talking about what is the meaning of superpowers, what were the two superpowers, the author definition of the superpowers, factors contributing, what actually was the conflict between the USA and USSR. So, yeah, let's get started. So, superpower is a term which is used to describe a nation or a state that possesses an exceptional level of power and influence on a global scale. So, before telling the meaning of superpower, I would like to introduce you to two superpowers, the USA and the USSR, which emerged as a two superpowers during the Cold War. So सुपर पावर का मतलब ये होता है कि एक ऐसा देश, एक ऐसा नेशन जिसके पास एक एक्सेप्शनल लेवल ऑफ पावर होती है एंड इन्फ्लुएंस होता है ऑन अ ग्लोबल स्केल. And very important point here is that this term superpower was first time used by William T.R. Fox in 1944 in his book The Superpowers, the United States, Britain and Soviet Union, Their Responsibility for Peace. And if you are gonna write this book's name, you will get very good marks. And the concept of superpower has been developed to include economic, cultural, military, and geographical influence. For example, the development of USA and former USSR, and more recently, the growth of China, India, and Brazil. Though they are not the superpowers, China, India, and Brazil, they are a part of emerging multipolar world. So here are some definitions of superpower which you can always mention in your answer in your answers. So, according to Enrique Singer, superpower means a nation with an ability to shape the world order and influence the global events through its military, economic, and diplomatic capabilities. According to Norman Chomsky, a superpower is a nation that exercises immense global influence, often through coercive means, and promotes its interest at the expense of others, particularly in the realm of geopolitics. And so, these definitions you can mention. These definitions will fetch you very good marks in exams. Then you can draw this flowchart that there were two superpowers, USA and USSR. USA ideology was capitalism, and yeah, some short questions are generally asked that mention some of the capitalist countries. So you can mention some of these. And then second is USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, present day Russia. Ideology was communism. Communist countries again important for short answers that mention some communist countries. So you can mention from here. Next is that what actually was the conflict between the two superpowers after 1945. Because the unit name is post World War II relations. So we are talking about after World War II. So post World War II emergence, you can write this in your exam also. Cold War began between United States and Soviet Union after World War II. Yeah, we know that. Then there was an ideological rivalry, as in the flowchart we saw that USA followed the ideology of capitalism and USSR followed the ideology of communism and socialism. So this was leading to a conflict between the two superpowers. Then global influence. Both the superpowers they aimed on expanding its reach, whether it's in economic strength, military power, political influence. Proxy wars also happened between the superpowers like Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan. The nuclear arms race. Both the superpowers they had become a nuclear nation with having equal strength of weapons and warheads. Cuban Missile Crisis, it is also known as the highest point of Cold War. So yeah, the tense of standoff as US and USSR confronted each other over Soviet missiles in Cuba. So it led to the conflict between the two superpowers. Denente. Denente basically means the period of eased tensions, and it was marked by diplomatic efforts to reduce the risk of direct conflict. And then finally there was an end of Cold War, leading to a shift in global power dynamics and leading to the hegemony of America. Then factors that contribute to make a nation a superpower. So first one is economic strength. As the name suggests, that if a nation having a diverse economy and having a diverse global influence will be considered a superpower. Military power. If a country have a powerful and a technologically advanced military, so it will be able to depict project force globally. Third is political influence. Superpower having a leading role in international politics obviously will have a say in global policies and alliances. And if it would have a good political influence in the international politics, so yeah, it will definitely be considered as a superpower. Cultural and technological impact. Superpower having good cultural exports, technological innovations, and scientific advancements would be considered as a superpower. Then, nuclear strength, as we discussed, a nation having a good strength of weapons and warheads available during difficult circumstances would be considered a superpower. Then, resource access, a nation having a large amount of energy resources, minerals, and agriculture, and a good agriculture would be considered as a superpower. Then stability and governance होती है जिसमें. Then global alliances, GDP and GNP. This is a very important point. If a nation would have a significant gross domestic product and a gross national product, it would be considered as a superpower. For example, at that time, USA had 50% of the GDP. So that's why it contributed to making that nation a superpower. Then factors that led to emergence of USA as a superpower. Separately, we will be talking about the factors leading to USA as a superpower and factors making USSR as a superpower. So 10 points each, and this will fetch you a very good result. So leading role in World War II. As you know that USA was a main force which was responsible for ending the Second World War, as it was USA who dropped two atomic bombs on the two Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So it played a deterministic and leadership role in the elite group, and this was a factor which led to its emergence as a superpower. Then extensive and intensive national power. It has various resources, technological and industrial development, which contributed to its emergence as a superpower. Leading role in creation of UN. USA was a permanent member of United Nations Security Council, and also it has a veto power, which equally contributed to it becoming a superpower. Then Marshall Plan. Marshall Plan, as you know, that in order to increase its influence, its here means USA's influence in the Western Europe. It provided an economic aid of $13.3 billion in 1948 under Marshall Plan to increase its influence. And this also contributed to it becoming a superpower. Then formation of NATO, C2 and CENTO, projected military power of USA, establishment of military bases in Western Europe led to the emergence as a superpower. Cold War was also responsible, as during the Cold War, USA was a leader of the Western Bloc and was a defender of democracy and capitalism. Culture, it had a good cultural exports, including the consumer brands, spread of US culture and values, which led to its emergence as a superpower. Then, very good contribution in space race, including the landing on moon in 1969, demonstrated its technological and scientific superiority as a superpower. Political leadership, obviously, in it had a leading role in international organizations like UN, uh, had a widespread contribution in diplomacy and global governance. Then factors that led to emergence of USSR as a superpower, conversion of Eastern European states to socialism. Obviously, when USA started the Marshall Plan, USSR, in response to that, also started converting the countries like Poland, Hungary, East Germany to communism in order to increase their ideology to far and wide areas and nations. Nuclear power nation, obviously, it also had a possession of a substantial nuclear arsenal and weapons and warheads, so it contributed to its making a superpower. Military alliances, like in order to counter USA's NATO, USSR made an alliance called Warsaw Pact in 1955. Then military bases establishment. It has its military bases established outside and inside Eastern Europe. Friendship and support of the developing countries. Developing countries supported the USSR. Countries like Cuba, North Vietnam, Laos. These were some of the countries whose support who supported USSR. Then formation of anti-capitalist law. As you know that USSR followed the ideology of communism and socialism, so it so the spread of ideology of communism led to the formation of anti-capitalist law, which divided the international order into two superpowers, making the world bipolar. Then UN role. It was also one of the founding members of UN. So it also had a widespread role in UN. Space race. You know, uh, it has done a very, like very advanced. It has very advanced the space capabilities, and also has established various space stations and had made preparation for the moon. So this led to its space race. Resource wealth, obviously, it has possessed oil, gas, minerals, which supported the economic and military growth. Then rapid industrial, technological, and cultural development. So under policies like 5-year plans, it increased the production of military and consumer goods, launched first artificial satellite Sputnik, and sending of first human Yuri Gagarin into space showed its technological prowess. So, yeah. Then finally, conclusion. In conclusion, we can write that all these factors contributed to making these superpowers, contributed to establishing Soviet Union and USSR as a two superpowers during Cold War era, and they completely shaped the geopolitical landscape. And also these factors resulted in changing the polarity system, such as there was emergence of two great superpowers, which led to bipolar international power structure. Then also it resulted in changing the polarity system, like bipolar international power structure was reduced to unipolar international power structure. So this you can mention. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for turning in, and if you like this video, kindly press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more such content. Thank you.